Hello and welcome back. I am Jason Parrott with a sort of review. We'll just start with a review. I'll explain what I want to do afterwards, okay? So I got the Ghostbusters Proton Blaster Mod Blaster. I guess that's what it's called. This is coming out for the new Ghostbusters Afterlife film. It's just a toy for children, little kids, to have fun blasting fake ghosts, you know, ages 10. Has lights and sounds, which it does. We'll get into all that. Made by Hasbro. Pretty faithful replica. And as you can see here, it's got, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different modifications you can do to this proton wand. I'm just going to call it a wand because it's weird to call it a blaster. You can do to this wand and make it look any way you want. Probably really fun for kids. It's got a little trigger on the handle guard part. Mind you, as much about Ghostbusters I know, or as much Ghostbusters knowledge I have, I don't know all the technical terms to every little part on this thing, and I do know it does have a technical term for every little part. I just don't have it memorized. I'm sorry, folks. I might have failed you as a Ghostbusters fan. But let's go through some of the features here. You can take these off and put them on any way you want, but as far as I've been informed, this part is supposed to be a trap. So instead of having the trapper box, this part works as a trap, and I'll show you that in a moment. And then this part, I guess it's just like an extension of the wand blaster part. We'll call that the blaster part. The big mega blaster. And I have a 3D printed one. A lot of people have that cool Spangler one. Just so you can see a little size comparison. It's not terribly far off size-wise. It's a little shorter and a little smaller in some spots. Like this part right here is not as big as this part. But it does have all the bells and whistles. Like, it's pretty faithful replica of this, which back in the 80s we didn't get this. It's kind of faithful. We got more of like a cartoonish version of it and stuff. And I know my 3D printed one, I had some PVC parts, and I had to find another clear part for the extension wand part. I should have just not used that and just pushed it down. I'm talking about this yellow part right here. The idea was just, I'm going to paint it black and have it blah blah blah. But I have this for my proton pack build I'm doing. Put that off to the side for a second. And I saw this and I was like, you know what? Because my proton pack is like a very, as cheap as you can make it, proton pack. I made it out of EVA foam, even though I'm starting up a 3D printer business. And if you guys want anything 3D printed, just contact me and we'll get back to you on that. And we can 3D print you off some parts for a little bit of a price, but you know, that's here nor there. I didn't want to go with a 3D printed proton pack, even though it'd probably look a lot more accurate and whatnot. But I wanted to just, you know, make it as cheap as I possibly could and make it as accurate as I could. Kind of like as a fun builder's project. But when I saw this, I was like, you know what? You know what? Modify? I bet you could modify this into a fairly decent looking, realistic wand for a proton pack. But there's a few hang-ups when it comes to that. We'll get into that in a second. Let me just show you some of the other features it comes with. It has this extended blaster part with this little proton streamy thingy going on here. Ooh. As cute as that is, I probably won't use it. But I do want to use the part, especially this part right here, because as you can see, I think it's supposed to be an extension of this part right here. And I think I can put that on there and use it. So we'll get to that. And the little trapper part, which is cute. I like it. And you can see, whoop, I'll put my finger in here. It slides it around. And the thing is, like, you trap Slimer in it. Whoa, there's Slimer. And then it's got some other doodly parts that go on the side that make it extend. I think because you want to attach these to it. I haven't put these on the proton pack yet because I plan on taking it apart to do my modification. But yeah, this would be on like the side, and you could put that on there like that, and take it off. And I do have an instruction manual. It was like buried in the box. I had to like kind of snap it out of the box to get to it. But let's show you what it looks like when you turn it on. Oh, it's got nice sounds. Pretty decent sound effects. You might hear my air conditioner more. Get it up to the speaker. And then when you blast, I didn't do that. You can hear ghosts. But here, let me blast it. Oh, and eventually it will overheat, which is kind of cool because it reminds me of a video game. It makes the same kind of sound effect. Once you get there, it doesn't take that long. Oh, it turns itself off. And I guess that's pretty much the off feature for this proton pack. But let's see what the accessories look like. So we'll do the ghost trap one first because this one makes weird noises because it has like the Slimer noises. So let's put it on there. And it makes the noise. And we'll trap Slimer. Oh yeah. You can hear him. I guess I gotta, hold on. Why is it not trapping Slimer? That's weird. Huh. Okay. Things I've discovered though is there's little buttons right here. And those are your different and then you got this one. Well, let's just this gives it a different noise. And now this feature doesn't do anything. It's cool it has a light up. I think it's supposed to light this up too. But now, as you can see, you can also attach this one on top of that one. And make it like super long. But that's regardless of the point. The idea is I'm going to take this thing apart and I'm going to modify it to fit my proton pack. There's Slimer messing around. That was what I was looking for last time. Unplanned videos, I swear. Okay, that was the noise I was looking for. Let me try to get him when he makes the noise. There, I got him now. I got him. Okay, that's what I was looking for. So you do gotta, like, catch him. Okay, whatever. Let me, turn you off switch. Like I said, the idea is to modify this to make it look more like this and make it a better proton pack, or a better proton wand, if you will. I do want to paint it black because I'm not a big fan of this yellow striping. I mean, it's good for the kids. I think for a kid's toy, that looks really cool. And I'm sure a lot of kids are going to have a lot of fun. It's going to mess with their imagination. A lot of the buttons move. And as you can see, this, I think this is supposed to be like a filter. This big part on here is smaller than this one. But oh well. So maybe it's the newer one is more smaller. It's slimmer and streamlined. It does have this part, and I didn't put this on yet because there's screws behind there, and once you clip it into place, I have to unclip it. But it's reminiscent of these two things, and I think there's supposed to be like a switch on it, and I might drill that out and just put a switch on it because I have a lot of spare switches. But yeah, paint it black. I believe these are supposed to be vents, because on mine they're see-through vents, so I'm going to cut those out. And the other issue that I have with it, I might cut this one out too, because I think there's supposed to be a light that goes back and forth. I'm gonna see what the motherboard and everything looks like that, because I have some spare lights and I might be able to put some extra lights in it, just feeding off the other power source. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. It might make your batteries drain a little quicker, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. I believe these are supposed to be lights too, but they're just like stand-in, like pressed up. I mean, for a kid's toy, it's fine. But if you're gonna modify it and make it look more like a actual proton one, there's a little bit of like things you might have to contend with. Like there's supposed to be a wire that comes up and goes into here. That's an easy fix. I can do that. I believe there's a wire that's supposed to be somewhere back here. I'm probably gonna get rid of this Bruce Ghostbusters Ghost Bust logo. I think it's just a sticker. I'll probably sand that down just to have a little bit more of a sandy look on it, you know. And this back part where the hose or wire is supposed to go into is completely not an option. And I don't know why that is, Hasbro. You're selling a proton pack with its own wand too, but most kids are probably going to want to attach this into it. You should give them the option to like attach a wand, like the wire that came with the proton pack into this. Even if it was just like a snap-on, just like you have with the rest of these, I think that would have been a lot cooler to be able to upgrade your proton pack with a better wand with sound effects, because the other one, as cool as that one looks, it is hollow and doesn't feature any electronics in it at all. But it would be cool if you could put the wand on that one. But even the back, you know, like, it's very well detailed. It's very similar to what it already has. It's just a little bit smaller, but that's okay. That's okay. It looks okay in the hand, you know. It looks... I like it. I like it a lot. And it's only going to be a little bit of painting and finessing, so let me stop this video here for me, and let me get it apart, and then I'll click it back on. I thought about doing a time-lapse thing, but let me just take it apart and then I'll just turn it back on. How about that? Okay, so we got all the bolts out. I used the little housing it came with to put them in. And I'm gonna show you what it looks like on the inside for the first time. I don't think anybody's done this yet. So it's a little tricky to get apart. They sank these bolts in really... I'm sure this is just how they designed it, you know, what worked for them at the time. I did want to get this apart just so I could get a good painting, but at the same time I wanted to see what the inside would look like. I did need to take this part up. I don't need to take this out at all in order to get that back piece off. So we have the obvious battery pack. Let me see if I can get you a better angle. the obvious battery pack wires that go in. I don't want to break these off because I don't want to resolder, but we'll try to be careful. So here's the little motherboard that's in it, and then we have our trigger plate that it just hits this little button. These are pretty standard these days. I don't know what kind of buttons they're called, but I've seen them on a couple different things. These parts come out. They just pop right out. I imagine, because they're all pretty loose in there anyway, and you can turn these anyway. So that's what it looks like inside one of these new proton packs. I know some people probably want to really get a good look at it before they even attempt this on their own. Like I said, I'm just going to leave the screws in there as is. They're still like dangling in there because they're sunk in like really deep, really deep. But that is where we're at right now. I'm going to look at this for a second because I don't know where I can even... I don't know why they have this housing like this. Maybe to give it some extra strength? Possibly? I find it hilarious that there's an actual ribbon cable in there. Because on the original proton pack there was a... Oh, I can take that off too. There was a ribbon cable on the back. You can see it in pictures and stuff. So there's a ribbon cable in your proton wand. There's the housing for the speaker. There might be more screws on the other side here. Let me look real quick. We have some hidden screws. This part looks like might be a screw. Oh, okay. But it's always good to take something like this apart so you can give it a good paint job. And won't be any creases or anything like that. I'd also suggest giving it a light sanding too if you're going to do something like I'm doing. I'm probably going to hit it with some light sanding, but mostly I just wanted to see if I could cut these out. And it's very interesting that how this is put together, because I guess it's like almost like in 3 parts. So let me see if I can't get this last part. I don't want to upset that spring either, because as much as I want to paint it and give it a little bit of details, I don't want to like ruin some of it, you know. Like I want to keep it as intact as possible for when I paint it. So let me see if I can't spring those 2 parts apart. And if I do, I'll show you what the result is. This will be a just big old $30 piece of mess afterward. Hello, welcome back to my mess, and I just wanted to show you where my updates are on this one. So like I said, I took this thing apart, and this part just popped off, and I think it was just held in with the little things anyway. But I wanted this part because I was going to use it for wires anyway on here, like the real proton pack has. So I was happy this actually popped off of there like that, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. That's a really good discovery. The second thing was, inside there you have this little yellow effect, proton effect. Right? But inside of it was this little clear plastic piece, and I was like, you know what I could do? I could glue that to this and extend it, making that part extended. And I'm like, yes, 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 yes. So that's where we're at. This is the mess I've made. Some of the parts I shaved off. I did carve out the back end of it, and I checked it with my actual proton pack. My hose does fit in there now perfectly. What else? I've cleared out the vents. I gotta smooth those down a little bit though. and I made some parts for the wires and stuff like that. But other than that, this has come along really nicely. This, I feel, is very, very easily modified even for an amateur person who wants wants something like this but can't afford this or has the knowledge to do something like this. This is doable. This is very, very doable. You'll have some cool lighting effects. You don't have to cut much out. I feel like this is very, very doable. I might end up putting a light in there like I wanted to. So you have that light vent thing. And I'll have a button for that too, because I actually have a light with a button on it anyway. So that's where we're at right now. I'm getting ready to mask some of this off so I can start painting it. And the next video you should see like somewhat of a completed version of this. So yeah, actually this is so damn easy. I'm actually surprised how well this turned out. I'll have some issues that I want to point out at the end of the video, but so far I'm very satisfied with how this is turning out. So let me get to the masking and painting. I'm going to bore you with that. Some people like to watch those types of stuff. I never do, so I'm not going to include it. But if you do want to watch something like that in the future, comment down below. I'll consider putting it in a separate video, separate from the main videos of me just painting. But until then, next part, boom, you're going to see a finished proton wand. Blech. Okay, so here we are at the end of our tail. I have my EVA foam proton pack right here. That probably only costed me about 60-70 bucks to put all together. And this was a passion project over time. I even have a ribbon cable I bought for the thing. I haven't got all the wires hooked up to it just yet, but that's not why you're watching this video. You're watching this video to see the end result of the modifier blaster proton wand. So I did end up with some extra parts. The spring feature in the handle, the spring ended up coming out. Like I said, at one point I was hoping it wouldn't, but it did, and then I couldn't figure out how to put it back on. I can't use this thing anymore. That's okay. Nor can I use this thing anymore. I'll find another purpose for those, because they're neat little features, and they might go on a Ghostbuster belt or, you know, something. I did end up with the end of that wiggly part. Look at that. Look how pathetic that is. If you, I mean, when it sticks out of the thing, it only is like that. And then there's a little bit more. But wouldn't it have been so much cooler if it was that long coming out of there? I mean, it could be longer, but I mean, this is reasonable. I mean, they give you this much to begin with. Complaints. Here's my 3D printed version right now, just for size comparison and look comparison. I haven't painted this one yet. Was kind of worried about the weight with this foam one, right? I didn't know if it would hold on to that, like onto the back part where you're supposed to put the hooky thingy. I have the hooky thingy. Was worried about the weight. So here we are, the big reveal. What's it look like now that it's completely modified? Maybe I should show you what it did look like. Still have the box picture. That's what it did look like without that little orange, or without these parts right here. That's what it looked like. We've all seen it. And this is what it looks like now. And it's so easy to accidentally hit that button. So I did find that there was an extra part. There was an extra part in there. And I glued the two together to make it longer. If I can find another cap for the top part, I will put it on there happily. But Oh my god, I am completely satisfied. Okay, now we got some quiet. Try not to hit that button again. So, paint's still a little wet, but that's okay, because bad paint job on a Ghostbuster product is supposed to be like that. But look how good that looks. So I did test this part too, because that was very important to me. Can I put this proton pack on my, or can I put this one in my proton pack? And I can. I'm trying not to hit that button. So, I think they match up pretty well, even though I didn't weather the proton pack at all. But you would never know. I mean, again, size comparison, it's a little smaller. But man, the end result. That's so cool. Let me just... let it burn itself out. Overheat, baby. Overheat. There it goes. It's the only way I've known to turn it off so far. But look, yeah, look how good this looks. And this is such a cheaper alternative to getting the Spangler one. I mean, if you got the money for the Spangler one, go for it. But if you're on the cheap and you're not very good at making things and you think you can throw a coat of paint on it, go for it, man. I think it looks really, really good. I do plan on putting a wire here and maybe dress it up with another wire in the back. But yeah, I like it. So let me give a little dress up. So tell me what you think in the comments below. What would you have done differently? What should I do differently? I ended up taking that sticker that was on there and putting. I couldn't kill a sticker, you know, especially with the Ghostbuster. I know it's not supposed to be there, but fuck it. Tell me what you think. What would you do differently? I might hit it with a little bit more paint, a little bit more weathering, blah blah blah. I might put some wires up in here too, and if I can find a cap for this end piece and put a wire crossed like it's supposed to, I will. Kind of like how this one is. If you see. There's like a... Oh, well, hey. Maybe that's a solution right there. But, yeah, tell me what you think, and love to hear from you guys, and I like it a lot. I think it looks really good. Let's one more time. You can't beat that. Oh, let me get my hand out of there. You can't beat that. Look how good that looks. For something on the cheap. Yeah, Slimer speaks for itself. And now I don't have to put sound in the other one too, so... Yeah. Yeah. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.